What's up, everybody? Welcome to The Boom Show, building open-minded, optimistic, and motivated teens. My name is Rahz Slaughter, the author of Student Success Secrets, Unlock the 7 Secrets for Developing Inspired, Motivated, Success-Driven Teens. On this show, we interview authors, speakers, and educators and people with inspiring stories where they've overcome obstacles and turned those obstacles into opportunity for success. Today, we have an amazing interview with Dr. Deeawn Roundtree. But before we get into that, if this is your first time, please hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode when we drop here on Facebook and YouTube. More importantly, if you got a question or concern, or you just want to comment and say how awesome our guests are, make sure to put a comment in the box below this video. Dr. Deeawn Roundtree is a professor, an author, a speaker, a leadership consultant, and she even has a doctorate in ministry. She is an amazing young woman who I'm excited to have on the show today. She brings a wealth of knowledge. In this episode, we talk about faith. We talk about leadership. We talk about inside corporate politics. We bring it all home. So I'm excited to have Dr. Roundtree with me. So let's jump into the show. Boom! What's up, everybody? This is Coach Rahz, aka The Motivator with The Boom Show. Today, I have another fantastic interview. I have my friend Deeawn Roundtree. How are you doing, Deeawn?
I'm doing well, Rahz. So nice to see you in action.
Absolutely. Well, it is amazing to have you here. I know that you are super busy making it happen, making an impact out there in the corporate world and teaching people how to lead from the front. So we like to jump into it real hot, real fast, no BS. So yes. I want to know just real quickly, give me a snippet of your background. How did you get to where you are right now? And then we're going to dive deep, peel back the onion, and let you drop some nuggets for everybody.
Okay, my pleasure. Thanks for having me on, Rahz. One of my favorite people, I swear. Let me just say, my title is the CEO of Roundtree Training and Consulting. And what I am is an executive leadership coach, trainer, and speaker. I'm certified with the John Maxwell team. I left my former employer as a business professor and program director for business administration. I worked for the university for a little bit over 6 years, but my goal has always been to be able to embark on my own company. I actually started my business in 2017. I put it aside because I embarked on another doctoral degree. I have one in business administration, graduated in 2012. It actually qualified me to be a professor, which I am so grateful for. And I taught at the first HBCU in the country, Lincoln University. And that's the first university that hired me. Then we relocated to Florida and was hired by a local university here in Florida. And again, I was there for 6 years. And realizing that I needed to go ahead and do this full time after deciding to embark on a second doctoral degree in ministry, graduating in 2020. And not only that, being severely impacted in my family by COVID-19, meaning that I lost 6 people that I was very close to. And it caused a lot of reflection on my life and, just prayer and faith and wanting to go ahead and do my own business because I didn't have the time being a full-time professor and director, as well as being an executive coach, trainer, speaker, certified with the John Maxwell team. I just couldn't do it all. And I took a step of faith and said, Lord, I believe this is the direction you want me to go in. So I'm going to go ahead and take the step of faith. And I felt like he was affirming in me in that move. And since March, the end of March, I have been 100% full force focused on Roundtree Training and Consulting. I was also inspired to purchase my own networking franchise, Network in Action. I became an official franchisee and have been in the process of launching my groups. I'm looking for members in various categories, whether you're a realtor, whether you are a title person, banker, financial planner, attorneys, any decision maker, any professional or business owner who wants to grow their business intentionally through referrals, I decided to go ahead and be that instrument for business owners who want to grow their businesses by building relationships with like-minded business leaders so that we could take our businesses to the next level. And the relationships that I am building and have built as a result of embarking on this endeavor, including being a certified leadership trainer, coach, and speaker, has been phenomenal, because it really has, because, and I didn't know about this. I didn't even know I could be a franchise owner by, having a network group. I've always been to the free groups. And unfortunately, even though I made some wonderful connections and met some amazing people, I wasn't really growing my business. And, this company, Network in Action, looked me up on LinkedIn, and they said, you know what, you fit the profile to be a franchise owner of this sort. And I'm like, to network? You mean you're gonna pay me to network? I can get paid? I can get paid to network. I do this all the time. I love connecting people, whether it's for a job or whether it's for clients. And it was a pleasant surprise learning that I would be able to provide a conduit for business owners and help them to succeed intentionally. Through Network in Action, we provide business coaching. We help our members to market their businesses. And these individuals, I have some wonderful members in there right now. They are so committed to their own success and supporting other businesses that it's proving every day to be a very good business decision for myself. So that's, what I'm embarking on. And I'm excited about the future.
Absolutely. I can tell that. And that's great. I think that you're going to put all of the things that you've acquired, the knowledge, the time and the experience together, and really be able to not only serve, but serve your business, your family as well. 2 doctorates, really huge. A lot of our audience, are parents, educators, influencers, things like that, authors. But more importantly, I want to inspire and motivate the youth to be willing to take their lives to the next level. And when you've embarked on 2 different doctorates, I know that's a tall mountain to climb. What can you share to the audience? What nuggets did you overcome? What could you drop and share about that experience that you had?
Thank you for that question, Roz. You know what? I was not born with a silver spoon. In fact, you know what? I was born in the projects of Philadelphia. My mother was a single parent until I was about, 12 years old, and then she remarried. And, she married and then she remarried. And it wasn't easy for us. She had me and my brother. We were the only 2 for a long time until our youngest brother was born about 11 years later. And I must admit, living that way was the fuel for me to want to have a better life. I was so self-motivated, and I hated not having enough money, that I was determined one way or another to be successful. And from that point on, from my childhood on, and having such amazing women who were in my life to mentor me and to influence me and inspire me throughout my life, really helped me to become the kind of woman I am today. And I got all my degrees working part-time or full-time, and being a mother, particularly for the last 2 doctoral degrees. And it was out of my desire to, number one, be successful in my own right. I had a bachelor's degree in business management, still do. I have a master's degree in professional leadership with a concentration in training and development. And those 2 degrees I embarked on before I had my son, Matthew, and then got married and had my son, and realized that I did not want to go back into corporate America. At the time, I was working for a major pharmaceutical company, Johnson & Johnson, where I was very successful, #1 in the region, #1 in my district, #2 in the nation, loved it. But the type A personality that I am, I wanted that energy to focus on being a good mother. So I decided, and thank God my husband agreed, to step away from pharmaceutical sales and focus on my son. So for a year, I just focused on him. And in the meantime, I was wondering what else I could do, decided to write my own book about the things that I learned in corporate America up until that time. It's called Beyond the Boardroom. Learn how to play and win at the game of corporate politics. Because where I came from, we did not know how to maneuver culturally in the workplace. And man, I wish I had a trainer or a coach or someone who could have prepared me, prepared me for what I was going to have to deal with. And even in college, I got 2 degrees, and we touched on these topics, but it wasn't anything very applicable, or it was very high level. And, then I was inspired to become a certified image consultant, because I said, I want to be prepared. I hate this feeling of not knowing what to wear, not knowing what fork to use, at a business function, not knowing how to network effectively. I wanted to know that I know. I had the personality, the people skills, but I needed to know how to apply all of that professionally. And getting, my certification as a image consultant really inspired me to go out there and start my own company so that I could help other people who were just like me. And it didn't matter the college degree, it didn't matter the race, it didn't matter the socioeconomic background. So many people were feeling like I did. And, that's what inspired me to write my book. And then, I decided that after my husband got a promotion and we relocated from outside of Philadelphia to Florida, I really wanted to continue to have my business. And I looked at a couple other companies as a franchise, but then the university reached out to me and said, you might not remember us, but about a year ago, you applied to be a director for the business administration department and a business professor. Will you come on in and interview? And I said, sure. Went in, long story short, was there for 6 years. And they actually was starting a doctoral degree program in ministry when I started. And I knew it wasn't a coincidence, because I had been praying about God's will for me and what he wanted me to do here. I was finally starting my dream job up north at Lincoln University in Philadelphia as a full-time professor, and only got to teach there one semester, and then moved to Florida. And I'm like, Lord, what's going on? And
that's life.
Yeah, and that's life. And I trust him, and I knew he has my back, and he supported me all my life. And when this opportunity came about that I could go back to school and get another doctoral degree in another passion, my first passion, which is my relationship with Jesus Christ, I knew it was a no-brainer. Why? Because I prayed, Rahz, I said, Lord, if you want me to go back to school, then you're going to have to pay for my first doctoral degree that I got in business administration, because I still got a loan. And to make a long story short, he made a way for me to pay that off.
Wow.
But then I said, but Lord, you're going to have to pay for this one. And it was like he said, no problem, because the university allowed me to pursue that doctoral degree on their dime. And I was able to get that second doctoral degree. And I'm so grateful to the university for having that benefit for their full-time employees. And it was a wonderful program, eye-opening program about Christianity and about ministry, and getting certified with John Maxwell in January 2020, after looking at other opportunities and knowing Dr. John Maxwell as an associate pastor at my church and observing him and his programs. I had prayed again, Roz. I'm like, you know what, here I am. I'm trying to start my own training company. I feel alone. I felt like I needed support and structure and didn't know how to go about it. And the John Maxwell team reached out to me and actually was having a special on their programs and for people like myself who wanted to be a member. And I had actually looked at them a few years ago, but at the time thought it was too expensive. Well, when they had half off, the half off special, I knew again that was a confirmation, and I joined the John Maxwell team. Ding. Ding. And it was like the Lord was just checking every box that I had, and I'm so grateful to now be able to take everything that I've learned from growing up to corporate America, my faith, and put it all together. John Maxwell being, a person of faith, watching him and how he integrates his faith and his training and coaching programs. It's all working out. And I'm just grateful for the opportunity to now use everything and give back.
A word from our sponsor. As a parent, it is emotionally draining to see your child suffering from low self-esteem, lacking confidence, and social skills. Rahz and Michelle Slaughter's book, Student Success Secrets, unlock the 7 secrets for developing inspired, motivated, success-driven teens is a must-read book for every emerging teenager. Purchase a copy today at rahzslaughter.com or amazon.com. I love that. Now, I know you're a mother, and a lot of our viewers are parents who are riding that parental roller coaster. Their kids are going through multiple different changes. You're balancing your faith, you're balancing business, you're balancing being a wife, a good wife, and trying to just give to everyone. How do you do it? Like, how do you not pour in so much without running out for Deeawn?
That's such a great question. And we as mothers, that's something we wrestle with all the time. I'm fortunate, my son is 17 years old and embarking on his senior year, preparing for college. And you know what, when I started my first doctoral degree in business administration, my son was only 4 years old at the time. And I was able to work part-time, still focus on him at 4 years old, and do my doctoral program, in a hybrid. So it's part online and then also face-to-face. I have a great support system. My husband has always, supported me as far as getting out there, do what I need to do, while he holds everything else down. And so being afforded that opportunity to have that space to be able to pursue my dreams is a blessing. So you do need a support system, whether it's a spouse or other family members who can support you as you're trying to get to where you believe God wants you and to fulfill your purpose. Because I was very happy as a professor up until a point. I felt like I needed more. But if you don't have that support system, whatever that support system is, it can limit you from being able to do anything. And then my son himself, that love, that mother-child love, that mother-son love, but whether your child is whatever gender, you just love your children so much. I wanted him to not have to look beyond his own home, his own family, his own parents for a role model.
Yes.
And don't get me wrong, I love for him to have other people who can pour into him, but I don't want him to have to look outside of his immediate family for
You're leading from the front. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's an inspiration, because Rahz, let me just be real. There's so many times when I've wanted to give up, when I've wanted to quit, when life got in the way, and I was exhausted mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And I did want to give up many times and just quit, because these doctoral degrees are no joke. I mean, the committee members that are on your track, monitoring everything that you do, they're the ones you have to get through in order to be called doctor. And they take, you know, depending on who your committee members are, and so that's a tip, make sure you have a good committee. But mine, you know what? They were tough. They were tough. And I knew in my spirit that God would not give me more than what I could handle. And when in those moments when I wanted to quit, I thought about my son. And I said, if I quit, what is he going to think of me?
I love it.
And that's what has kept me going, even now, you know, throughout so many trials and tribulations. When I want to give up, it's my son that motivates me and inspires me to complete what I have started.
Beautiful. So I love that, because a lot, and it's a perfect segue, because I know that one of the reasons that I got into the business I wrote the book that I wrote, is from my own pain. And it was my own search for a role model, a mentor, someone to be that North Star for success, which I didn't have naturally. You're providing that inside your own home with a loving family, willing to sacrifice for your son. So I just want to give you a round of applause for that. But what about those little girls who don't have, and I'm going to speak specifically to young little girls of color who might not have a role model and look at you and say, you know what, Deeawn, you have 2 doctorates, you have a bachelor's degree, now you have a successful business, you've been a professor. That's all great. But how do I get started? How do I just, what do I do to just get a little bit of momentum going? Because the wall is so high I can't even see that far right now. What would you say to that little girl? Look into the camera and just try to give her a little bit of hope.
Well, you know what I would say to that young lady is, I've been there. I was once that little girl who would look up to these wonderful, successful Black, white women, other races, no matter who they are, Hispanic, Asian, and I admired them, and particularly African-American women, was wondering, you know what, Oprah Winfrey, her story, oh my gosh, you know, I thought I went through something, but she topped that, and so did Maya Angelou, and they were really tremendous inspirations to me and influencers, even though I don't know them personally. But hearing their story of overcoming so many trials and tribulations, it helped me, number one, to realize that it's not easy for anyone. But let me just say this for sure, no matter who you are, your anchor must be your faith in Jesus Christ. Let me just say, now other people might have faith in other kinds of religious entities, go for it. Whatever it is that you believe in, if it helps and supports you, use that. For me, it's my faith, my personal relationship with Jesus. At 15 years old, I gave my life to Christ. And that was a very critical time in my life because I'm, of course, going through puberty and boy crazy and wanting to be successful in school. And, you know, my parents were going through things. And the only anchor that kept me at that young age, and even before I gave my life to him, was Jesus, was the Lord. And that's where it starts, because that's my foundation. He's my foundation. So if, you know, a minister, you hear ministers and high profile celebrities having issues, like, you know, loved Whitney Houston and others who have had tragedies, and you look up to them, and, you know, when the everything just goes by the wayside in their life and they have money and success, it makes you question life. So for me, even though I love and admire, of course, Maya Angelou and Oprah Winfrey and Michelle Obama and so many others. For me, they are only human and they have real problems just like we all do. They're human, they fail. So for me, Rahz, it's my faith in Jesus Christ. He's been the consistent in every area of my life. Every time I've had an issue, even today, whenever I go through anything, he's the first source of my strength. And I think if you have a strong foundation, and I have a new book coming out talking about this, it should be out soon, hopefully by next month. And it talks about our foundation. If your foundation is good, then no matter what wind blows, the hurricanes, the tropical storms that really can knock us off our feet, if you have a strong foundation, you will get back up. And for that little girl, that's what I want you to focus on, is building a strong foundation. And for me, it's my faith in Jesus Christ. And from there, I have gone through many, many trials and tribulations, many. But again, I've only been able to get through them because of my relationship, not just belief, but there's a real relationship there. He reveals himself to you. He strengthens himself. His word teaches us. The Holy Spirit lives in us. And because of that, I have a security and a peace of mind that truly passes all understanding when all, quote unquote, hell breaks loose, and it will. So know what your foundation is. Know where your anchor really, truly holds. And then if you have that strengthened and that foundation in the ground, at the bottom of the sea, no matter what storms come your way, you will be able to push through and stay focused on your goals.
I love that. Have an anchor. That's a nugget. Awesome. So we just, that was powerful, but I want to use a little bit. I have you here, and knowing that you have a wealth of knowledge about corporate America, navigating the job world, what would someone do who is a mother? Now she's a mother, she's got her kids, they're in school, and she's looking to make that leap, that next step in her life. She might want to go from just having a job to having a better job. What advice would you give her? What are the first steps, to go, okay, you know what? Here's where I'm at. How do I get to a next level?
Well, to be honest, that's why people hire a coach. I'm a leadership trainer, coach, and speaker. I just finished coaching a sweetheart of a young lady in her early 20s, still in college, trying to find her purpose, trying to deal with some issues that she's had since childhood, and helping her to work through that. I think, for me, I didn't have that. I didn't have that coach, but I am grateful that I can be that for other people. But you might have a mentor, someone like and trust, and who can pour into you. Now, I've had many women who were mentors to me, who I could confide in, who I trusted. Dr. Judith A.W. Thomas was one of them. Dr. Estella W. Smith was another one. And these two powerful ladies, one in corporate America, Dr. Smith, and one in education, Dr. Thomas, they, number one, exemplified the leadership traits that I aspired to have. And as a result of that, they cultivated and poured in me such strength, because they were very honest and direct and forthright and admirable women with integrity that I could, talk to about certain situations I was having at work. But having a coach, someone like myself, who can help you to navigate specifically in your career, whether you want to move up and get promoted to a leadership role, whether you want to embark on your own business, someone like myself who has no emotional ties to your workplace, yes, can see clearly and help you to develop a plan to get to where you want to go. Not that you couldn't do it on your own, But working with someone like myself, I can help you to get there much quicker, more effectively. You know what I mean? So that you can step aside and miss those trip ups, those career faux pas that many of us fall into and that take us so much time to get out of before we can get back on our path. I can help you to skip a lot of those mistakes that you would make on your own and learn the hard way. I had to learn a lot on the hard way. And that's what inspired me to write the book, Beyond the Boardroom. I also have an online class. The online course is great. It's derived from my book, Beyond the Boardroom, Learn How to Play and Win at the Game of Corporate Politics. It's a self-paced course. And it too provides a foundation for the workplace and beyond, dealing professionally in business so that you are more self-aware. And that's what inspired me to create this online course that I, share with many people who choose to purchase it. And, everything I do is inspired and motivated by what I went through and what I wish I had, for myself as I was growing up.
Does your child lack confidence, social skills, or motivation? Rahz Slaughter is a sought-after teen life coach, motivational speaker, and 20-year professional coach. He welcomes the opportunity to coach your team on a one-on-one basis or as one of his students in his online groups. Rahz's coaching system will help your team boost their confidence, improve their communication skills, and gain clarity about who they are and how they can reach their full potential in school, sport, and life. To learn more about the coaching programs or to schedule a consultation, call 1-800-509-9383 or visit us at our website at rahzslaughter.com. If you mention the Boom Show, you'll receive 10% off the coaching program that you enroll your child. So in corporate America, it could be a dog-eat-dog world. It could be a, step on people's shoulders. What's the biggest tip you can share with this audience about navigating corporate America so that they can be successful without falling prey to some of the crabs in a barrel mentality?
Exactly. And there are many crabs in a barrel, and they come in many shades. It doesn't, it's an equal opportunity employer. So again, I think the number one tip, and I know it because it helped me, is my faith. Because when I had to deal with some of those unscrupulous people, those insecure people who would not give you credit, who would try to sabotage your career, my faith in the Lord is what kept me, because I knew that anything that happened to me, God allowed it. And if he allowed it, then all things are going to work together for my good. So that's number one, right? Your foundation. Number two is to make sure that you are self-aware, because admitting and owning your own stuff is valuable. It'll help you to be better for the next phase of your life. None of us is perfect. So own what you don't know. Own your own mistakes. Do a lot of self-reflection, excuse me, so that you can be better. You must take ownership for your own career success versus blaming it on, it's because I'm a woman, or it's because I'm Black, or because I'm fat, or because I'm light, or because I'm dark. No, whatever. Take responsibility and ownership for your own career success and focus on it. I think one of the best things, Rahz, I've ever learned in my life, and I wish I had learned it a lot younger. I didn't really understand this until my mid-30s, is that our mentality, the things that we're thinking about, taking control of our thought life and developing a success mindset, believing and focusing on your goals, and focusing on what you have versus what you don't have. And being grateful for what you have right now, even though it's not what you want in your future, is only going to attract more success in your life. And, I was raised in church and taught the scripture, as a man thinketh, so is he. Whatever is true, right, noble, pure, excellent, praiseworthy, think on these things. And I heard the pastors preach it, but I didn't know how to apply it. And once I learned the secret about taking control of my mindset intentionally, learning how to apply God's word, that would change my life forever. I no longer felt like a victim. I had a greater locus of control, internal locus of control. See, if you're an external locus of control, then you can blame the world and circumstances and superficial, things outside of you for your success or lack thereof. But when you have an internal locus of control and faith and a foundation in your faith, that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you, and you focus on that, that is what I would want any of my students, and I have instilled this even in my college students, to take control of their own thoughts and focus on what they want versus what they don't want. And stop comparing and competing with other ones. Otherwise, they'll be your focus and you will be limited by their success. So focus on your own goals and you'll reach them.
I love that. That is great. So, and I want to jump into one question that I've been itching to ask you because,
yes,
I get the opportunity to work with youth, ranging from anywhere from 10 to 20 years old. And I know my own experience with the educational system. And I have my own beliefs about it and what is right and wrong and what needs to be changed. But I'd love to get your perspective, someone who has gone through a plethora of education. What do you see our current educational system and what are some of the limitations that you see in it? And you have a son that's going through it that you can share and wish that you would see change.
Well, as an African-American woman, and a child who has gone through the educational system multiple times, when you're in the primary grades, it's very important for parents to be involved as much as possible, to know what your child is being taught, to be involved. Because when teachers know that the parents are up on it, they view your child differently. Ooh. If you are an absentee mom, you send your child to school and be like, whew, thank God I got a few hours to go get my nails done or, go to Starbucks, versus being involved, showing up for those parent-teacher conferences. I substituted at my child's school because he went to a private school. We were very blessed and fortunate to be able to send him to a private school. But one thing I noticed in this private school, there were no teachers that looked like me. So my thought was, okay, I'm not working right now. I'm going to be a substitute. So I would substitute, and thank God this wonderful school wanted me to be there. And my son and his friends, and Caucasian and others, got to see a Black woman who, provided knowledge. So my point is, be involved. Don't drop them off like it's daycare. Show up for those meetings. If you can substitute, if you can do that and want to do that, do that. My point is, be there. Let them see you. It's just like if you, have a loved one in a nursing home. If you put your loved one in a nursing home and never show up to visit, those nurses and doctors are not going to value your loved one as much as someone who's there, who's showing up every day to visit. It's the same way in the school system. And let me just say this. You have teachers coming from so many varied backgrounds, and especially in these majority African-American schools or diverse schools, And they're coming with their own perspectives about Black children. I'll never forget this. There was an elementary school out in Pennsylvania that I was a substitute for. It wasn't my son's school, this was a different school, public school. And I'll never forget when this one full-time teacher, paid teacher, every day seeing children, said to me, she said to me, you can't be nice to these kids. They never listen. In fact, they're just like little monkeys. I said, really? So I could, I had to hold myself back.
I can see my state change, right? Yes.
I had to hold myself back. And I realized then that there are some teachers, not all teachers are like this, because I've met some amazing teachers, Caucasian and otherwise.
Absolutely.
But this particular one already had a perspective of these children. And I remember saying to these kids, I said, listen, like I was their mom, I want you all to listen to me. Some people may not have good expectations of you, but I want you to prove them wrong. Yes, I'm your substitute, but I want you to behave. I don't know what it was about those words when I spoke directly to those children, but they were good for me. They were good.
You're a leader. Leaders speak their truth. Powerful.
And children will rise to the level of your expectation.
All day, every day.
Every day. So whether you're an educator or a child or a student, a higher level student, have high expectations of the student, and students have high expectations for yourself. If someone has a low expectation of you, let that motivate you. That's what I did. And this has happened even at the college level, Rahz, where I was hired at this particular university, and I worked at a few, but this particular university, I was teaching more like a remedial course for new students. And I'll never forget what this dean said to me. She said, you can't expect much from these students. And again, this dean did not look like me. And part of me, I'm offended that they felt so comfortable to say this to me, right? But it taught me, again, that if we lower our expectations for our children or anyone, and we will rise to that expectation because it starts in your perspective and how you see them. And children and students, you have to make sure that your perspective of yourself, you are a masterpiece created by God, and you can do anything you put your mind to. And any obstacles or hurdles that are in your way, jump them. It's just a test to see how much you really want what you said you want in your life, whatever that goal is. If you want to be president, stay focused on that goal. You want to be a doctor, stay focused on that goal. And don't let anything, unless you change your mind, stop you. But if you change your mind, let it be because you have a new desire or a better desire. I mean, I've had changed different goals that I've had. I wanted to be a pediatrician at one point and learn more about myself. And I probably couldn't handle it. God forbid a child died while they were under my care. Pivot. And allow the pivot, because you're just growing. You're becoming more of who you are. And no matter what kind of positions you hold along the way, experiences that you have along the way, know that when you have identified your purpose, all of your experiences in the past, school, work, family, all of that will be used and culminated and useful and beneficial to you and others when you fulfill your purpose. It all works together for good to those who love the Lord. That's for me. Now, you might have another standard, but I know what's true for me and in my life. And that's what I would tell them.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we're going to land the plane with the number one question that we always ask here on the Boom Show. And that is, what does success mean to you, Miss Deeawn?
That is such a wonderful question. Wonderful question. I think for me is number one, being able to look yourself in the mirror and love who you see. And whatever image you have for success, that image of yourself, whatever she is, whatever he is, whatever goals they've attained, that image is your anchor to help you to meet her or him. So that when you meet her or him and you see one day that you are her or him, that's success. And I have a peace of mind. You know, there's a peace truly that passes all understanding. That is key. You want peace. Don't let anyone take your peace. Don't let anyone take your peace. And then from there, all the other things, the trimmings, the money, the accolades, the recognition, the degrees, all of that is just the evidence of what's inside.
Beautiful, beautiful. So awesome. And I love asking that question because it's always different. And I know throughout all of our lives, it changes. At 18, success looked like one thing to me. At 25, it looked like another. At 35, it looked like another. Now, in my 40s, it has totally changed. Going through the trials and tribulations of my life, I've had to adapt and adjust what success looks like. And I agree with you. Success today is just me being in my own skin and loving each and every day. So I appreciate
Absolutely.
you so much for that. Dr.
Absolutely.
Deeawn Roundtree, thank you so much. You've been amazing. I know that our viewers and listeners are going to want to know how to connect with you. Where are some locations on this amazing planet that they can find you, reach out to you and say, hey, you know what? I need some help with leadership. I need some direction in going here. I would love to hire you as my mentor. Where can they find you?
Sure. LinkedIn is where I live. So my handle is Dr. Roundtree. So look me up on LinkedIn. Also Google my business, Roundtree Training and Consulting, and my website, which is my name. Just spell it out. I know it's unique, but you can't get it wrong if you remember the spelling. It's DeeAwnRoundtree, just like you see it on the screen.com. No space, one word. And you'll be able to access my website as my online course and all of my contact information and the services that I provide. I'd love to speak with you. I'd love to have a free consultation with you and help you to discover your purpose.
Outstanding. Thank you so much for your time, everybody. My name is Coach Rahz, aka The Motivator. We've been talking to Dr. Deeawn Roundtree. This is her book, Beyond the Boardroom, Learn How to Play and Win at the Game of Corporate Politics. Highly recommend you guys grab a copy of that on Amazon and her website. My name is Rahz. As always, building open-minded, optimistic, and motivated teens. We are out. Boom!